Hey everybody, I'm Alan with Bricks and Blocks Gaming, and in this video I'm going to be talking about an upcoming supplement for the game of Frostgrave that's called Blood Legacy. If you're new to my channel, I have a number of Frostgrave videos that you can find linked in my description box below here, and my dialogue in this video will assume that viewers are familiar with the game of Frostgrave. So I don't usually do news videos, and I know that some of the content in this video has been out on the internet for a number of months, but I haven't seen any videos about Blood Legacy, so I just thought I would make a video about it. Plus, recently there was a little bit more information about the supplement that was released. One of the marketers from Osprey Games released some information on the Frostgrave Facebook page about the supplement, so I thought I would share some of that. Being a news video, I will of course have some spoilers that I'll be talking about, and I'll start by taking a look at the information that was shared on the internet quite a while ago. So this screenshot is taken from the post that Osprey Games put up on the Facebook group, but this information has also been available for a little while on Amazon if you look up the book, as well as I found it on miniaturemarket.com, but let me just read it here. In the days of ancient Felstad, vampires kept to the shadows, their small numbers no match for the power of the city's wizards. But when the cataclysm struck, the wizards were destroyed, while the deathless vampires went into frozen hibernation. Now as the city thaws, so do its undead inhabitants. The masters of the night are rising again, reoccupying their hidden strongholds, reforming their old cabals, and finding new victims to serve as their thralls. The destruction of the old city has brought one other boon to the vampires: giant's blood. While giants used to live out of reach to the far north, in the intervening millennium, they have descended on the city in large numbers. Their blood is like an elixir to the vampires, filling them with strength and magical power. A new war is forming between these two ancient races, and once again, the wizards of Frostgrave are caught in the middle. And this screenshot here is from miniaturemarket.com, and it has all the text I just read, but also adds, "This supplement for Frostgrave fantasy war games in the Frozen City presents greatly expanded information about the vampires and the giants that occupy the frozen ruins, including rules for vampiric magic and a breakdown of the different tribes of giants. Also included are rules for a new type of soldier, the giant-blooded. These huge men and women have the blood of giants running through their veins, granting them great strength unseen in normal men. Finally, the book contains a section on playing Frostgrave with high-level wizards and includes 2 mini-campaigns to challenge these experienced spellcasters." Going back to the post on the Frostgrave Facebook group, there were 2 screenshots that were added from the book. One was a piece of artwork that I'm assuming was done by a rumor who did all the artwork for the 2nd edition book. The vampire in that picture looks a lot like the vampire found on page 141 in the 2nd edition book, and it's some really great artwork. The other screenshot is of page 40 from the Blood Legacy book, and I'll just read what it says here. It starts out with creating a vampire and their henchmen. In each of the first 2 scenarios, each player will need to create a small vampire warband to challenge their opponent. They should start by creating a vampire using the rules presented on page 9. If players are using experienced wizards in this campaign that are above level 5, then the vampire should be given levels equal to the opposing wizard, -5. So if a player is using a level 15 wizard, the opposing player should create a level 10 vampire. Vampires level up following the same rules as wizards. They must divide their levels as equally as possible between increasing stats, decreasing casting numbers, and learning new spells. Vampires can learn whatever new spells they wish when leveling up this way. Don't worry about grimoires. Vampires have 6 henchmen, so not the usual 8 that a normal warband would have. 3 of these henchmen are soldiers. A vampire may select any 3 soldiers it wishes from any book or supplement, so it sounds like you might be able to use the new giant-blooded soldiers that are found in the Blood Legacy book. It says these soldiers may be specialists, but are still subject to any rules limiting the maximum number of specific types of soldiers in a warband, so no more than 1 captain, for instance. Each of these soldiers are assumed to be under the effects of a Thraldorn spell, So I'm not sure what that is at this point. And so they'll suffer -1 will. The other 3 henchmen are ghouls. For each ghoul, the vampire can decide to give the ghoul a 2-handed weapon, a hand weapon and shield, thus increasing its armor by +1, or a move +1. And I'm assuming the ghouls in this will be have the same stats as ghouls found in the core book, which are similar to a thug, except they have +2 will instead of a -1 will. And they're undead, and you get to customize their stats a little bit. Then the page goes on to say, when playing a vampire warband, the vampire follows the normal rules for wizards in terms of activation. The vampire activates in the wizard phase and may activate up to 3 of its henchmen, apart from their second in command, which is something I'll get to shortly. And they do this in the phase following the normal rules. And the vampire may use group activation. So this is important because they can do either a normal activation with 3 soldiers, activating them one after the other, or all of them together like a group activation. Before each game, the vampire should select one of their henchmen to be their second in command. This figure activates in the apprentice phase, following the normal rules, including activating up to 3 other soldiers. One important thing here is it does not say that it can do a group activation. I'm kind of assuming that they can because it says that it does this following the normal rules in the apprentice phase, but it could be that they can just simply activate the 3 soldiers but not actually do a group activation. Henchmen that haven't activated in either the wizard or apprentice phase activate in the soldier phase like normal. Both scenarios, it sounds like there's only going to be 2 scenarios where you'll use these vampire warbands. Both scenarios which feature vampire warbands also feature other uncontrolled undead, usually skeletons or other undead that enter via ambush cards, which we don't know about yet. Although the vampire player can choose the actions of the creatures when they activate, these creatures are not controlled and are not part of the warband. They still activate in the creature phase and follow all the rules for uncontrolled creatures outside of their activation. So as far as what we know from the content that I've read off here so far, we know that there will be vampiric magic. I'm not sure if this is spells that will be limited just to the vampires or if it's something that wizards will have access to as well. We'll have to wait and see. There's going to be tribes of giants, whatever that will mean. It could mean that they're just giants with different stats or giants that maybe battle against each other once they're on the board. Not sure. There will be one new soldier called a Giant Blooded, and it says at one point that they'll have extra strength, so I'm assuming they'll have the strong trait dealing extra damage, and probably the large trait as well, which will be kind of cool to actually have large figures in your warband. There will be 2 mini campaigns to challenge experienced spellcasters. We know that there will be 2 scenarios that feature the zombie warbands. I'm assuming that these mini campaigns will actually be maybe 3 to 5 scenarios each, but there's no indication how many scenarios will actually be in this supplement. I think that these vampire warbands will be pretty interesting. When I first read the article that was posted on the Facebook group, I was kind of thinking that this was going to be kind of an alternate way to play where you could either create a wizard or you could create a vampire, but it sounds like it'll be just kind of limited here to a couple of scenarios. But I still think it'll be pretty interesting, kind of a different way to just play the game with those scenarios. I am curious how much of a role the giants are going to play and just what they'll look like. But I guess we'll find out in December what exactly is going to be in this supplement. I did see on Amazon it says that the release date is December 7th. So it should be available at least sometime in December. The price looks like it'll be around $30. The miniaturemarket.com that I looked at said it's normally $30. They have a special price of $21, but I'm not sure what their shipping costs are going to be for that. So somewhere around $30. If you know more about this supplement than what I've shared here, if you found some other spots online with some information, you can leave that in the comment section below, or leave me any other comments if you just want to comment about Frostgrave. If you want to check out some of my other Frostgrave content in the future, be sure to subscribe so you can keep up with what I'm releasing. And again, I'm Alan with Bricks and Blocks Gaming. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.